and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bell. On today's episode, we were joined by two of our bus driver training specialists, Lillian and Debbie, to talk about various bus safety rules and what it's like being a bus training specialist in honor of Bus Safety Week and the Barrow County School System Bus Driver Appreciation Day. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Sure, I'd love to, and wanted to thank you for having us here today. We were both very excited to be here. But my name is, as you said, Debbie Palermo, and I am a training specialist for Barrow County Schools Transportation Department. I've lived in Barrow County since 2004. Raised my daughters here. They graduated from Barrow High School, and I have served Barrow County now for 11 years, and I've been training for a little over 10. So I love it. Best job.
Well, thank you. Like Debbie said, it's a pleasure for us to be here today. I am Lillian. I've been with Barrow County for a little over 11 years. I've been a training specialist for 9. What got me in the field of being a bus driver in the first place was it was a good job that fit around my kids' schedule. And they too have graduated in the Barrow County School Systems on the Appalachia side. And then it just worked out great with their schedule. I was able to be a full-time mom with them as well, go to their sporting events and, have a career. And then was a bus driver for a couple of years and then became a trainer, and that's where I'm at today.
That's very interesting. You both kind of started around the same time, and you've been here since, both 11 years, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. What is a bus driver training specialist? Well, what does it kind of look like?
We train people that want to get a job here and work as a bus driver. First step would be for them to go online to Barrow County Schools and apply. And once they get through that process of the hiring process, background check, all of that, if they don't have a CDL and they need to get that, then we'll set them through a class that we have that where they can get their permit, or we assist them in learning to get their permit, which is pretty quickly. We'll have them go down and try for it every couple of days. And once they get their permit, then we'll start training them hands-on. There's the 12, 6, and 6, which is 12 hours of classroom instruction, 6 hours of drive time without students on board, which is very easy to do. You get that just training in just a couple of days. And then there's the 6 hours with students once they actually have obtained their CDL and been tested.
And there is 10 of us total. We are 2 of the 10, and out of the 10, we have 2 third-party testers. So we do in-house third-party testing, which is nice. We don't have to go to another county.
Or go to the DDS, which we used to have to do back when her and I started. You had to take your training and drive all the way to the DDS at this appointment. And so it's really convenient to have the 2 women that we have that do our third-party examining.
With 10 of us being out there, like Debbie may do special needs on the first group coming in, and then we branch off and split out the trainees. Each one of us trainers have our own unique way of training, so that makes us different. And some have higher qualities in the classroom or more hands-on. So we're all unique in our own way, and I think that's why our team comes together so great. Because, we work well together, and someone could come in and, not really know the process and be like, wow. And maybe Debbie's a little bit more like, hey, nurturing to take them in and be like, hey. And then you got someone who comes in and they're like, oh, yeah, I, did a lot of research on this and stuff. So they may go with that trainer because then it'll be,
Right, those different personality types. So we see, meet the trainee when they're coming through the process and whatnot, and we kind of all ping off each other.
That's very interesting. That actually leads me to my next question. What does the daily actions and processes look like of a bus driver trainer specialist?
We typically get to the buses before most route drivers do, in case we have call-outs or we need to fill open routes and stuff. We'll run the routes in the morning, and afterwards we'll head over to the training center, and we'll meet our trainee there, and whatever we're assigned to do, either it be classroom units or hands-on, or getting ready for them to do third-party testing. We'll do that, and then we hop back on routes in the afternoon. And if all of our routes are fulfilled, we'll be standby in case an emergency should occur or, they need us somewhere.
Or continue training through the day, which is the goal, to not have to be on a bus as a trainer. That way we could have our time better utilized and spend the whole day training, which would get people through much quicker than that space, that small window of time between routes.
Do you ever go along with these ride-alongs whenever you are training, or is this like from the office? What does it look like?
Well, we do ride-alongs, so when we are in the perfect world of being staffed up, we will hop on with our drivers because we oversee areas. So we oversee, like my elementary is Kennedy, so those drivers will pop on and do a ride check, help out with student management if needed.
So what is something surprising about your job as a trainer that most people wouldn't expect?
I would have to say, I don't think people, when they come in, expect the enjoyment and fulfillment you get out of seeing different children's face every day. I know my biggest joy of it is I've seen kids when they were real little, and now being in 11 plus years, they're graduating high school and stuff. Just being out there in the community and seeing how big Barrow County is growing and just being part of it.
So I think most people probably don't realize how much is involved to become a bus driver. There are so many layers to it and so much to learn. But there's more to being a driver than just driving. There's so much we do for students that involves, you're a mentor to those children. You're often that first face, as you've heard, that they see. You can set the tone for their entire day. We teach safety. Distracted driving. There's just so many layers and facets to what we do as trainers. It's not just training to drive, if that makes sense.
Also on that, when you asked about being a training specialist, this last summer we launched a program called Touch a Bus. And we went out to libraries and a few daycares that wanted to participate. And the program was so that we could have the opportunity and the time to show the students who've never been on a school bus before the safety aspect, like Debbie mentioned, like how to sit properly in emergency and what to look for when the driver's crossing you over. And that was pretty successful. We had a great turnout this last summer. Eventually, we're going to get into the schools and try to give them more, especially during bus safety on, it's hard when you're driving the bus because you're trying to interact and do the bus stops. It goes so quick. You don't always have the opportunity to fully give them the full safety. You try like, hey, sit down, bottom to bottom, back to back. But when we had the time over summer, and we did go out to these functions, it was nice because we had that opportunity. Answer questions, really show them the ins and outs of the bus and how it's supposed to be.
I remember getting to stop by at one of the Touch a Bus events over the summer, and the kids really did seem very into it. And, I feel like that was a great experience for them to visually and, really understand why we have the roles we have on our school buses. But it was just amazing to see all of that come together.
Well, absolutely. And the parents too, they got a better understanding. Like, hey, come on the bus. This is why when we tell you, hey, your child wasn't sitting down, this is the reason why. So, I like that the parents got to interact as well, and they got to go on the bus and see that stuff as well.
We also try to do that around open house. When we have that, we'll oftentimes have a bus at the location so that people can get on it and with their, especially the young ones that have never been on a bus. It can be intimidating, and they're already nervous enough about starting school and whatnot, so it really helps to get them familiar with it. And then, of course, like she was saying, the safety of it, that's the utmost important part of it, is getting them to and from school safe.
So while we talked about Touch the Bus and the safety rules, tell me a little bit about those safety rules.
You to remain seated. That's number one thing.
You just need to be 12 feet back from when the bus, where your your danger zone, where your designated bus stop is. You need to be out 5 minutes before the bus arrives, your scheduled pickup time, 12 feet away from the bus. Never, ever go chase after a bus. That is the most dangerous thing you can do. We're not expecting it. And one of the aspects of being a training specialist is we don't have a permanent route. So when we go on a cover route and we're at a stop, we don't know how many children to expect there. So if I see 2 or 3, I think that's what it is. We did our procedure. The kids came in, sat down, we shut our door, we proceeded on. If you ever miss the bus, don't come chasing because we don't know we're expecting someone else. That is so dangerous.
Yes, never chase after the bus or go to another bus stop. But you see that. You even have, occasionally you'll have parents drive their child to another bus stop because they've missed it and they don't want to drive them to school, so they'll drive to another bus stop where you think you've loaded them all. You close your door and you check your mirrors, you're about to take off, and then you get and it's startling and it's so dangerous. So that's a good one. Not to ever chase after the bus.
So the best thing if you do miss your bus is to let your parents know, and then do they call the school?
Call
or do
transportation.
Call transportation, okay.
And they can reach out to us, or they can call the school as well, because the schools are equipped with radios now, and they can reach directly out to the bus and find out where they're at and if they could go back and get this child.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's a few ways they could do it. Well, in addition to training new drivers. We also train our veteran drivers.
Okay.
I mean, and all of us that have a CD, I don't care what level you're at, there's always retraining. In fact, we have we're trained every year. There's a meeting for us. But we do ongoing training with our veteran drivers as well, because stuff evolves. I mean, transportation is constantly evolving and things change. You know, for example, years ago, they used to just cross children with one swoop, or heck, some might have just went across. But we stop them twice now. The first time we stop them at the end of the crossing gate, we're making sure there's no cars coming towards the bus, and if they are, they've stopped. We're checking that mirror from behind. We'll bring them over in front of us directly, stop them a second time, and check our mirror, make sure nobody's going to try to pass the bus, and then continue them on, where the student, of course, obviously would hopefully look back and forth. That's your job as a driver, to kind of help guide them and teach them the safe ways to cross. But that's just one example of how things have evolved over time. As things progress, you learn what's safer and safer so things don't happen.
And with the county growing too, like Debbie was saying, the veteran drivers, you know, they're used to a normal flow of route. Well, with the county growing and stuff, we have to go out and check a stop. Maybe now it's a new safety with a new development. So there's constant always training for us to do, either it be with the new ones coming in or refreshing our veteran drivers. And us trainers even get trained and recertified every year and have special classes and stuff.
Right. There's a program that we have here, a distracted driving program, and best practices for all of that. And that's sort of new for us for the past, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. And so it's changed sort of the way we handle discipline and everything, but
there's many, many layers of training. You know, you have to teach them student management. This even before we even get with kids on. It's like a snowball. I always explain it. It's a small little snowball. When we begin the process of you get your permit, classroom, hands-on and all that. Then once we get your third-party license, then we put you on with kids. The snowball keeps growing and growing. And then reality really kicks in when students are on there, because that's a whole new world. You have all these eyeballs staring at you, and you're looking in your mirror, and you're trying to focus on traffic and everything. So there's a
big responsibility.
It is a very big responsibility, but it's a very joyful responsibility as well.
Yes.
Like
one
Debbie
of the most
said,
rewarding jobs
we get to say
I've
hello to
ever
you.
had.
You know, we get to say goodbye to you and have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you later.
Best way to start your day is all the smiling faces. It really is.
Yeah. So for somebody wanting to become a bus driver, you know, what's the process and how can they apply?
Go onto the Barrow County Schools website, go under employment, and
create a profile. Okay. Once you're done with your profile, please go back and make sure you hit apply for job. Okay. A lot of people will apply with the process, but they don't actually go back and actually click to hit apply. And then always follow up with the application process if they haven't heard anything. We're always looking for wonderful personalities and smiling faces. But it does take a special person to be a bus driver.
Yes, you're right about that.
Yeah, so come on and apply. We're always.
And if you don't have a computer or computer savvy, if there's someone like that, they could always come up in person. Yeah. We always open door. We've got computers set up. One of us are there to help anytime that someone would want to apply. Welcome it. Right.
So what would you say to somebody that might be watching this that might be interested in it, to kind of let them know a little bit more about the rewarding part?
Well, I would encourage them to apply. Come down and start the training process. You'll learn once you start training and learning more and more about what actually is behind the scenes of being a school bus driver. And I think that at that point, you, the person, would know if you can handle it or not. But I think people don't give themselves enough credit, because anyone can really do it. You just got to have dedication and commitment to it. You know, you have to be there every day. You know, kids are dependent on us. The schools are dependent on us. You know, we're here for 176 days a year, and then the rest of the year we're off enjoying our time.
Yeah.
Which makes it a great position for moms that want to work while their kids are at school and everything, and have the same schedule as them. If there's a snow day, they're off too. But we also have some incredibly intelligent, gifted people that are doing this, that are just retired and want to do this or own their own business. And this position allows you to do that, because you have that window of time once you've completed training and you drive a route. You drive for a window of time in the morning, a window of time in the afternoon, and you've got, you know, a big block in the middle. So we have a lot of people that have their own businesses, whether it's cleaning houses, and we've got construction workers,
We have farmers.
a lot of them that
Yeah.
build homes and things like that. So
So we could
it's a very
say
good job to have.
we could say it goes beyond the bus. Am I correct?
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Very good. Good one.
Yeah. Well, we need more bold bus drivers. We'd love to see. We appreciate the bold bus drivers we already have, and it's been a great week celebrating Bus Safety Week and our bus drivers. But I want to thank you both so much for coming onto the show. That was a really good deep dive into the behind-the-scenes work of our bus driver trainer specialists and the work that they do each and every day to make sure that our bus drivers are the best equipped to transport our students to and from school. To learn more, visit our website, and remember, the learning journey never stops. It continues beyond the bell.